Okay, thank you for joining us today. My name is Jack Boitani, and I'm a senior manager for alliances at Elastic Path, and I look after some of our partner relationships in the Americas. Today, I'm joined by two guests from our solution partner, Sirius Computer Solutions. We have Luis Camacho, who is a senior practice manager at Sirius. And we also have Raj Ekambaram, who is their e-commerce technical director. So before we get started, just a couple housekeeping items. We're going to leave some time after the presentation for a Q&A. So if you have questions during the webinar, please locate the Q&A call to action in the Zoom interface to type your questions, and they will be answered at the end of the presentation. So I will give you a brief overview of Elastic Path, and Luis will tell you more about our partner, Sirius. I'll talk a little bit about the trend that we are seeing in brands wanting to move off of monolithic systems, and then I'll pass it on to Luis, who's going to give us an overview of Headstart, the tool Sirius developed to ease migration efforts from monoliths to API-based commerce. Raj will show us Headstart in action, and then we're going to address your questions. So with that being said, for those of you who are new to it, I'll give you a brief overview of Elastic Path. We work with leading brands globally, delivering best-in-class commerce capability to over 800 live sites. We recently raised funding to keep growing our position as the best-in-class API-based commerce vendor in the market. Our software is run virtually everywhere in the world and processes billions worth of transactions. We were the first to recognize that digital commerce held the potential to open up engagement opportunities far beyond the web store, and that for brands to keep meeting market demand, they need to provide the ability to purchase at any point of the customer journey and at any time. That's why we built an API commerce system that can surface transactional capability to any touch point. And this is the reason why we have been chosen by leading brands across all industries to power their commerce initiatives. Brands like T-Mobile, Carnival Cruises, Johnson Supply, just to name a few. So with that, I want to pass the mic to Luis so he can tell us more about Sirius Computer Solutions.
Thanks, Jack. Morning, everyone. So today I'll introduce you briefly to Sirius. One thing to note, we are not the satellite company that you might be familiar with. Sirius Computer Solutions started in 1980, and we've grown very rapidly, both organically and through acquisition. We have sustained over $3 billion in revenue as of last year, and that's increasing dramatically. We've got over 4,000 sales and technical certifications, as well as 2,500 highly skilled employees. That number as of today is just over 3,000. We've got 1,500 technical resources and 44 offices across the US and Canada. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our global delivery center in Chennai, India, where we have phenomenal expertise and very, very low turnover, which is very impressive in the market. When people ask me, okay, what does Sirius Computer Solutions do? I do want to take a minute. You may hear me refer to Sirius as Sirius Computer Solutions and/or 5out. Now, 5out is our digital agency that we go to market with. But getting back to our core competencies, we're expertise in both the digital, data, and security realms, focusing on professional services as well as resale within these verticals. I'd like to introduce you to some of our beloved clients in various industries. You'll see here, while we're focusing on modern, smarter commerce today, we at Sirius 5out aren't restricted to just supporting your commerce needs. Our clients span all three areas of digital data and security coverage. And these are some of the preeminent names in our business. I would like to call out that we do have expertise in the healthcare industry, as well as retail and financial services. Jack?
Thank you, Luis. Now, just a quick look at how the landscape of commerce is changing. When commerce started in the 1990s, it very much pushed customers to a digitized equivalent of the brick and mortar store, the e-store, where you have to scroll through pages and pages of digital shelves and were forced into a very prescriptive experience. Then in 2007, 3G came about. Customer experience and demands turned on their heads, but at the same time, complexity grew. Platforms rose to prominence. Enterprise technology suddenly touched customers every day. Ultimately, customers seized control and channels exploded. Customers started expecting to communicate in new ways, like social media, and expecting commerce to be available to them on new devices, like wearable ones, or for commerce opportunities to be available to them on the item that they purchased itself, in the case of smart devices. Engaging the consumer, or the user in the case of B2B, is the key for brands to succeed. The user wants to interact through all the channels that permeate their everyday life. It's just what they're used to. Interact with your backend, because that's your business. And the monolith you have, well, at best it's siloed. It was built for a web-dominated world in which the expectation was for the customer to come to the brand. I like saying that, albeit being built digitally, these monolithic systems still push an analog construct of consumerism. Today, brands need to capture customer engagement and seize on every opportunity for interaction, like create synergies with physical retail, extend offers via social, enable emerging touchpoints. And monolith systems are often too brittle and costly to adapt to this world. Even if they add APIs to try and make a play in the modern commerce space, they still show the weaknesses that you would expect from an afterthought. There's a lot of effort needed to implement new business logic that is not contemplated at the core of these systems. That's why at Elastic Path, we build a system that recognizes the centrality of the user in the modern construct of commerce. We recognize that you're going to want to interact with your brand in an ever-changing and ever-growing number of ways. We recognize that transactional capability needs to be seamlessly available to them through all these channels. That you need to abstract the complexity of your backend, but also make the business capabilities in it available to them. That's why we haven't just built a series of APIs, but rather the most robust API operating system available in the commerce landscape. A system that was purpose-built for the future of commerce and that is able to choreograph transactional business logic across the entire ecosystem of customer engagement avenues. Look, we understand that modernizing a stack can be perceived to be a significant undertaking for a brand. But we believe that an API-based model is not only the best to future-proof your business, it's also the best suited approach to support a progressive innovation of your customer engagement arsenal. With that being said, I want to leave the floor to Luis, who is going to tell us more about Headstart, which is the offering that Sirius built precisely to ease these migration initiatives.
Thank you, Jack. That's exactly why we're so excited to work with Elastic Path. Before we talk about the asset we developed and how it can help you, I'd like to normalize on what headless commerce is, API-based, forward-looking platforms like Elastic Path. Headless is the separation of normally tightly coupled e-commerce platform, decoupling that templating and presentation layer from the order management, payment processing, and product management sections. You have a more fluid, proactive model focused on the collection of services rather than a solution focused on e-commerce itself. Allows businesses to keep pace with the hyper-speed evolution of digital marketing and robust content. I think we need to stress headless allows for marketing and business to take more ownership and rely a little less on IT systems personnel. So long as there's a robust CMS, they have more autonomy. Now for our asset. This accelerator, which we developed, helps both customers that have multiple brands under their umbrella, as well as a single entity customer that's looking to migrate from an old school monolith system to a headless commerce environment. There is no need for a big bang migration project anymore. There's no user experience surprise when migrating from a single stack to headless content on the new commerce model. You'll see that shortly. The tool to migrate the catalog, both products and categories, and user data is already there in our asset. Our asset eases concerns we're seeing as customers consider moving to a new platform. It's very daunting to consider that, and we've hoped to ease that transition. It allows for shared carts from different source platforms simultaneously, and the real focus is on functionality instead of compatibility and integration. We use an accelerator for your migration and design to evolve as needed. Let's have Raj take into specifics and get into the exciting live demo.
Thanks, Louis. These days, microservices and headless commerce are two big things in the e-commerce industry. It's not easy for everyone to pull the trigger to go there and get everything modernized, right? It needs a good and solid strategy to get there. Sirius can help with that. And Sirius Headstart Accelerator can help get you there to the futuristic commerce architecture, which helps both the business and the IT to manage a platform in a seamless way. So the Sirius Headstart is the accelerator which we have built based on what we have seen in the industry and what we have worked in the past too. So this is built based on the REST API. It's all API driven and all segregated. And it's based on the mean stack, which is a MongoDB. We leverage MongoDB, Express, Angular, and the Node.js. And every component of this accelerator has been containerized. That way, it's easy to continuous integration and continuous deployment and independent of each component within this accelerator. It can run in any cloud platform, AWS, Google, or even Azure, or any private cloud. So currently, we have this working on our AWS environment. It can support any API gateway like MuleSoft, Apigee, or anything which is there in the market. And given this is an headless architecture, CMS plays a big role in experience management. So in that way, we support pretty much most of the CMS systems available in the market. And there are predominant ones which we kind of started wiring up with our accelerator and readily available. And also we have Adobe and Google Analytics integrated, and based on the client need, we can either configure Adobe or Google Analytics to capture the data from this accelerator. And the last thing, the testing. So we have the out-of-the-box one-source testing automation comes along with the Headstart. This is the Sirius IP, which helps and pre-built testing automation scripts available for Headstart. So this is the architecture which we decided to go with the Headstart accelerator. This is all based on our the industry progress as well as what we have done in the past. So you see multiple components in this architecture. You go from right to left. So the first one is the face of the asset accelerator, which is the AngularJS, which runs on the Node server. And basically that's the place where the customer interacts with. And then it goes to the adapter, which is the core engine of this architecture. So this is the one which connects and wires the multiple systems to the front-end experience. So to your left, there are a lot of logos you can see left and the top. So the left is the e-commerce engines. So we do support, eventually we have to transact on an e-commerce platform. So all these transaction is managed by our multiple e-commerce engines. So based on what client picks, and we can wire the e-commerce engine as it requires. So we currently support the IBM Commerce and also the elastic path. And the adapter gives the foundation not to stop there, and you can expand it to anything else. And out of the box, it comes with the elastic path. And the bigger part of it is the CMS. We do, again, the adapter is the one which is going to, wire up all these components together and give a customer journey and the user experience to the customer. The CMS, we can, as a foundation, supports any leading CMS in the market. Currently, we have Acquire has been integrated, Acquire 888, and we have plans to expand that from Core Media, Adobe Experience Manager, and so on. And this architecture, as I mentioned earlier, this is all containerized, and it can be managed using the Kubernetes or Docker Swarm. And what we have discussed in the previous slide is the runtime, what the client gets and what they manage with the Headstart accelerator. But before doing that, I mean, we have a tool and another accelerator, which comes along with the Headstart, is the migration tool. So this basically helps a customer move from one platform, e-commerce platform, to the other platform, in a step-by-step manner. So currently, we have built this to migrate the data from IBM Website Commerce into catalog, Elastic Path catalog data. So we use Apache Camel and the MongoDB as a main technology to understand and pull the data from Website Commerce and push that into Elastic Path. Since we have a deeper experience in the Website Commerce and we know the data model in and out, so we have built the extractor to go, and all you just mentioned is the target or the destination where the Website Commerce data is, and it just pulls the data. We understand the data model, whatever is available out of us. Of course, if there are any customization specific to the client, we will be updating this migrated to accommodate that. But by default, out of the box, it just gets the data and converts that, translates that to the data Elastic Path can understand, and insert that into the Elastic Path environment. Currently, it's not going to stop there with the Website Commerce. It can be expanded to any e-commerce engine in the market. All we just need to do is update the extractor and anything with the data model, and translate that to a Elastic Path understandable format. And normally we have seen is that 3 to 4 hours of data, we have already migrated this data from the our existing e-commerce platform to the new Elastic Path instance. So it took 3 to 4 hours, and it's all managed in Kubernetes. And again, it's containerized. Now, I'm gonna get into a demo, show you guys how it exactly works. Let me share my screen. So I'm gonna walk you guys to a situation where a client is looking to migrate from the Website Commerce to the Elastic Path platform, and also from the Website Commerce, when I say Website Commerce monolithic platform to the e-commerce Elastic Path modern architecture with a headless and microservices. So with that said, as Louis mentioned in one of his slide, we don't need to have a big bang approach, migration approach. We cannot disrupt the business or the consumer experience. So that way, you don't have to do everything, all these components like updating the CMS, updating the customer experience, and updating the e-commerce transaction engine. we can take step by step. So what what I'm showing right now is the our Headstart accelerator and the AngularJS component, which runs in my local actually for now, but it can run in any cloud platform. And this has been wired to with my legacy IBM Westway Commerce, which is running on our AWS instance. So I'm going to take you guys customer experience, how the customer experience is in this Headstart Angular store talking to the Westway of Commerce. This is the homepage which talks to our IBM Westway Commerce to get all the catalog navigation, and the content is again sitting on the Drupal. So this comes out of that Drupal content. So this is the homepage, the layout and everything comes from there, but the data for the catalog all comes from catalog, and this promotion banner, all these things comes from the Drupal and the IBM Westway Commerce. So this is the login page where a customer can log in. I'm gonna just sign up, and we have a registration in process. After you register, you go to the My Account where you can manage all your registered information, where you have the order history, personal info, where you can update all the email and stuff like that, first name, contact number, and all the basic information of the person. And we have the order history and the My Wish List, where you can manage all your wish list, where you can create a new wish list and you can search for the product. Since this is a completely fresh customer, I just registered, I don't have any data, but I'll log out and log into the user where I have the data already. So now you can see the orders, which are all coming from the IBM Westway Commerce, and where you can manage all the products, where you can manage all the orders, and you can see the order status and order details when you go into this. And then the My Wish List, where you can manage your wish list, where you can add a new wish list, or you can search for the products and add to cart from here or remove it from here, and all the basic wish list feature. And of course, the address book, where you can manage a new address. And also, you can either edit or make it as a default, or delete the address from the address book. So this is all the My Account information, functionality and features what we have. It comes with the out of the box headless Headstart. And of course we can expand it, like features like if any client has a loyalty program or anything, we should be able to expand that with no issues. And this is the category page, where we have the products and data coming out of Westway Commerce. And I'm going to take you to the experience and the quick view, where you have all the product information, various swatches and inventory and the ratings and reviews and whatnot, right? For a quick view. And I can add it to the cart. I'm going to add a couple more. And you can see this is the data out of the box Aurora data from the IBM Westway Commerce. So I added a couple items to the cart. And before going to the checkout, let me show you guys the product details page, where again, its template comes out of Drupal, but the data, the static data comes out of Drupal, and the Solar and the transactional data like the inventory and the the any other transactional data specific to a product, which is promotion and stuff like that, comes out of the e-commerce engine directly. And this is completely manageable, and you can change individually for a certain category how the layout looks or how the product looks. And this is the shopping cart where the standard any e-commerce engine platform shopping cart with product information, pricing information, promotion information, where you can move it from the shopping cart to the list, and it's the same as the save for later you see in the major retailer platforms, and you can remove the items from the cart and continue checkout. So we do have a promotion which is running for 10% off on all the orders. So that's why you see the discount in here. And along with that, there are more other information like tax, shipping, and processing, and all that. So this is the quick view of the order information, and where you can, this is the place where you can enter the promo code and add more promotion if the customer has one. I'm going to continue checkout, and this is the shipping page, one-page shipping page where you have you can select the shipping address, or if the shipping address is not there, you can add it, or even you can manage quickly from here, like you can delete it or you can edit it from here, and that kind of reflects that in the my account. And to add one more point, I'm currently taking the experience of the registered customer, but it's not limited to that. And as a guest customer, you will be, when you continue to the checkout, you will be, if the consumer is not logged in, you'll be asked to either continue as a guest, where consumer has to enter the information as part of this checkout process, or you can sign in, which I'm currently showing, where everything is pre-populated, where quickly boom, boom, boom. And I'm selecting the address and all the shipping options which are available based on the rules which we have, like a products and address and all that. I'm continuing to payment. I'm selecting the credit card as a payment option. And selecting the billing address goes along with it, and confirming the order. Now this is the order confirmation page. This is the order which just got placed in the website commerce, and it got approved, and I can see more information on that. And if this order has been shipped, and you'll see the status updated, and you will see the tracking information and whatnot. So I'll log into the IBM Website Commerce admin tool to show this order, which we just placed using our Headstart. There you go. This is the order we just placed, and go in, you can see all the order information which we used to place the order. Now I just showed you guys the experience and the Headstart accelerator, which works with the IBM Website Commerce, which is running in our AWS account. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to show you guys the experience of the client who is going to use our accelerator tool, who's connected to our IBM Website Commerce product, now migrating to the Elastic Path. And as part of this, there will be a one-time migration of data, like catalog data, order data, and the users data. Currently using our migrator tool I mentioned in the one of the slide, we did that migrating out of the box Website Commerce products into Aurora products into Elastic Path AWS environment. And that took some time, and we have done that and migrated that using that tool already. So now I'm going to show you guys how I'm flipping the switch to make the Headstart store talk to Elastic but migrated Elastic Path data instead of IBM with Commerce. That is done just by updating this configuration and rerunning the build and restarting the server. I'm updating this in my local environment. And of course, this runs in AWS. All you just need to update the configuration and take the latest data and refresh your container. It's all should be done. And just running the build, it's going to take a minute or two to take this changes what I've put in into the environment configuration into effect and deploy it.
So Raj, do you mind if I ask you a question while that goes on?
Sure.
So what if, as a customer, I'm in a situation where for a while, I want to run some of my business on my monolith and some of my business on the modern system that I'm in the process of adopting?
Yeah, I mean, so that's a very valid situation for some of the client who runs multiple brands and they don't want to disrupt the brands which is running on a legacy platform with all the old business process and adapt to the completely new changes, right? Just like that, because they don't know how that's going to impact their business. So with that said, like, if they have other brand where they can take a, comparatively, use that brand to make sure that everything goes right, and they can use the Headstart accelerator and keep the journey, customer journey and the customer experience consistent between the brands, but still they can talk to the predominant brand talking to their legacy e-commerce platform, and the brand which we are going start with can talk to Elastic Path, keeping the same experience for the customer. And also, it's not just about the multiple brands, right? So because moving from the monolithic to this modern headless architecture, it's not just going to help the IT and performance, right? It's more than that for the business, because it helps the business to reach the consumer so fast. In legacy monolithic, it takes hours and days to change the content and create a promotion and publish it to the consumer and have the consumer use this and convert that to the business, right? But now, as you see now, I mean, changing an e-commerce engine is just in the flip of a switch. So just think about the business wanted to update a content and publish it. It's just done in like minutes. And they can give a more personalized consumer experience. So that's definitely helps.
Thanks.
All right, I'm starting these two servers. So basically, start. It basically takes a couple minutes. So if you see, the build took like probably a couple minutes, and boom, the server is started now. Now my e-commerce Headstart accelerator is pointing to Elastic Path e-commerce engine, where we already migrated all the IBM Virtual Commerce out of the box catalog data in it. Yeah, so the consumer experience, if you see it, this is all the same. There is no impact, no change, but this is all the data coming out of Elastic Path, and the content, of course, comes from the Drupal. This is all coming from the Elastic Path, where we have already migrated the catalog data. So, of course, we can register. I'm going to show the registration again. I'm gonna log in with the existing user. And you can see the same consumer experience for the my account flow, where I already have all the data, product information, my orders and wish list, and also the saved address. It's the same exact consumer experience. I'm gonna add a couple items. I'm gonna show you guys again the same checkout process, but this time this is all in Elastic Path, talking to the Elastic Path. I'm adding a couple items. To the cart. All the inventory is validated against the Elastic Path, and all the promotion information comes from the Elastic Path, all that. So now you can see the same checkout experience with all the same features and functionalities what we have seen in the past checkout flow. And this is the shipping page. I'm going to the shipping page. Where you have the shipping option, shipping address to select with, and the shipping method to select with, and you can have the order detail information where you have the quick view of your products in the cart and the total tax and shipping charges, and of course the discounts if there are any. I'm going to the payment information. And selecting a billing address, confirm order. Now this is talking to my Elastic Path Commerce Engine, which is running in our AWS instance, creating an order. And my order is placed. This is the order confirmation where you can see all these orders. We can view the order from here. And it's under processing, and you get all the basics informations. What are the information we wanted to expose to the consumer as an order, right? Now I'm going to show you guys the admin tool as I showed on the website commerce side. This is the admin tool of Elastic Path. Where business users log in and manage like catalog, promotion. If you see like different menus up here, catalog management, price management, promotions on shipping, customer experience, consumer services, shipping and receiving, and all other settings and configurations. So I'm not gonna go deep into these menu. All I just wanna show is the order which is placed, which we can pull from the So this is the order which is just placed using the e-commerce engine, but the same Headstart asset and with the configuration change to talk to the Elastic Path. And you see all the order information and everything. So if you see here, I mean, my client has migrated the data and first they had our Sirius Headstart asset running their customer experience, like the UI, and the adapter plays a big role talking to their CMS and getting all the data, but talking to their legacy IBM Commerce engine. And then meanwhile, all this is done, they started doing the migration of the data from IBM Commerce to Elastic Path. And then after the migration is done, after successful migration of that data, one fine day, they flip the switch, and now e-commerce engine is all Elastic Path, not the IBM Mystery Commerce. With that said, that concludes the demo, and I'll hand it back to Jack.
Thank you, Raj. That was a great demo. So we're just going to have the Q&A very shortly. We just want to recap what we've discussed today. API-based commerce allows you to monetize all customer engagement opportunities. A best-in-class API-based commerce system is the key to modernize your stack and allow your brand to evolve at market's pace, at the pace that your consumer are expecting. Moving from a monolith to a modern commerce system, it doesn't have to be a big bang. And today you saw in action Sirius Headstart, which is an asset that eases the migration path to API-based commerce. And Sirius Headstart can simplify your cloud and CMS innovation strategies. So with that being said, we're going to start the Q&A. I see there's some questions already queued up. So from Jenny to Luis, in Sirius's experience, what are the biggest drivers for brands to want to replatform off of their monolith systems?
Yeah, it's a good question. First and foremost, I would say market fatigue with the old unwieldy platforms that we're all familiar with. You have disparate experiences, that lack of brand unity. There's no consistent consumer experience. The headless architecture platform increases your agility. You know, I go back to what we talked about earlier. Why headless? Well, everyone loves static content websites, right? Of course not. And it was normal to expect the process of price matching and doing updates to take weeks, waiting for an IT group to get to it. That's not right anymore. That's why decoupling is so important. Being responsive should take a mere minutes. And that's why we feel moving to a headless architecture increases your flexibility and your speed to market.
Thank you. Now from Paul to Raj, can Headstart support different CMSs?
Yes. As I mentioned in this slide deck, right? So there are multiple logos you have seen. Yes, the foundation and the framework of the Headstart asset does support multiple CMS. Currently, we have the Drupal 8 wired with the asset out of the box, but it's not. There is no limitation to go with any other CMS in the market, like AEM or Comedia or OpenCMS or anything.
Thank you. Now for Luis from Nicola, are there customers that you have used this migration tool with?
The short answer is yes. However, due to current NDA restrictions that I'm under, I can't disclose specifics. What I can tell you is we've given our customers options. Our IP, which we've developed, this accelerator, we have the ability to sell it individually, although we prefer to bundle it with professional services. Being e-commerce champion since 2001, we're very comfortable inside of the WebSphere commerce realm. And of course, our fantastic partners at Elastic Path. I think our experience and our expertise lends itself well to helping the customer with our Headstart asset by virtue of professional services.
Thanks, Luis. There's one for myself. At Elastic Path, do you see more interest for headless commerce in specific verticals? I would say, the reason why we've built a system headlessly is because we've seen e-commerce opportunities across all industries. Every industry needs to innovate and allow their customers to engage and to monetize that engagement. We definitely see a trend in with customers that have multiple brands or multiple touch points or multiple regions, multiple business units that they want to enable with a unified commerce engine that can surface capability across the entire ecosystem of ways in which they're engaging their customers and their users. I think in the e-commerce industry, there's a big buzz around B2B right now. We're starting to see that where we have large B2B brands that are wanting to look at headless commerce to be able to offer a compelling and consistent experience to the buyers. And there's definitely an expectation in the industry that we're going to see that even furthermore in the next couple of years. Thank you for the question. Now we have a question from Jason to Raj. What was your experience like working with Elastic Path Commerce?
I've been in the e-commerce industry for a while. I mean, pretty much most of my experience in the e-commerce industry, and work with multiple different tools. With my technical experience and experience of working with different e-commerce engines, I like Elastic Path as one of the great e-commerce platform I work on. Especially from the technical perspective, it's just easy to migrate with the Cortex API. And the bigger part of the e-commerce platforms are like, customizing and making the client specific functionalities and features. And the way we can do that with the Elastic Path is just, in a very seamless way, and it works independently. So it's all completely segregated, and it doesn't impact your upgrade strategy. And you keep getting all the features when the Elastic Path builds on the core platform, and without disturbing all your customizations. So overall, it's a great experience working with the EP as a product as well as the EPT.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. For Raj again, does Headstart only come with Angular, or is there a React version available as well?
Answer is yes. We do have both the version Angular as well as the React, but the React version is kind of starting right now. So we have a basic product and category pages serving not the full flow checkout, as you have seen in the demo. But we are in the process of upgrading it. So because the foundation can support any front-end technology, right? So the main mantra of this accelerator is not to limit anything which a customer want to plug and play with, right? So that's the idea of this framework. So with that said, I mean, we do have the React version of it, but with the limited capabilities. But we are in the process of expanding it to just mimic the same experience what you have seen in the demo.
Okay, thank you. I think we've got time for a last one. So for Raj again from Pratika, can the migrator tool only migrate from WebSphere Commerce, or can it be used to migrate from any other e-commerce platform?
Yeah, short answer is yes. It can be migrated from any e-commerce engine. So all we just need to understand the data model, how it works, and what are the customizations and where the data sits. And we definitely have an extensive experience in the IBM Commerce, so that's why we picked that, and we kind of pull the data. But there shouldn't be any restriction of going and pulling. The migrator tool can extract the data out of any e-commerce platform and translates to the data where we can inject that into the Elastic Path e-commerce.
Okay, we'll do just one more. What are the performance benefits of going headless? I don't know, Raj, if you want to.
Yeah, I can quickly. Yes, I mean, definitely, this is a very light. I mean, the technology we are using is the latest and greatest, which is available in the market, right? Like, as you guys might know, there are, it's growing. The front end of it is growing so much, and it's becoming really, really lightweight. So the Angular and React.js, and we keep updating the latest versions of Angular and the React.js, which is coming in the market, which so every time there is a new release on these JS frameworks comes in, these days everything is got to be lightning fast and without any issues, right? And we definitely have a lot of performance improvement compared to our monolithic way of storefronts. And I mean, that's the reason why we picked the Angular and the React JS framework as our front end.
Excellent. So that's all the time we have left for today.
Jack, there's a question from Kayla in the chat. Is this a base app that Sirius built on Elastic Path?
I can take that question. So yes, I mean, as I mentioned, so this Headstart is not, not built on top of Elastic Path. This is an independent application which is containerized. And as I mentioned in the technology stack, we use the mean stack like Mongo, Express, Node.js, and the Angular, which can run on the AWS, independent of Elastic Path. But this been built to work very seamlessly with any e-commerce engine. But currently, since we have an experience with the Elastic Path and the IBM Commerce, and now it's been wired with these two platforms to come out of the box.
Yeah, I think that's very key for Kayla to realize. This is an independent asset and tool used to facilitate migrating from a monolith to headless. It wasn't built on EP specifically, though we did build it with EP in mind, right? We built it to facilitate moving from any e-commerce platform to a headless environment, such as Elastic Path.
Thank you. Okay, so this is all the time that we have left today. If we were not able to answer your question live, we will reach out after the broadcast. I want to congratulate Sirius Computer Solutions for the wonderful work that they've put together. I want to personally thank Luis and Raj again for being our guest speakers in this webinar. We will make a recording of this available after the fact. So we will send you an email with a link to the recording. Feel free to share that link with colleagues and peers in the industry. If you want to learn more about what we've discussed today, you can also contact Elastic Path at sales@elasticpath.com and Sirius at info@siriuscom.com. And with that being said, thanks again for joining us today.